Kelly O'Grady joins me now from New York, also on the big board, so I just keep my attention riveted this way. So, Kelly, tell our audience, if they don't know, and they might not, what ADP is, what it said today, and why it might matter for our economic future.
So this is another employment report, and specifically the ADP report looks at the private sector. And, it's very different from the Friday report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in terms of how it's surveyed, how it's calculated. That's what we like to call the jobs report. Fed loves to look at that one, sort of see how the labor market is doing. But today we got some troubling information. It shows that the labor market, according to ADP, is weakening. We were expecting to add 110,000 jobs in May. We only added 37,000. That's a pretty big gap. And two things really stuck out to me, Major. We actually lost jobs in the manufacturing sector. Remember, those tariffs, a lot of them are designed to bring more manufacturing jobs to the U.S. And then the second thing that stood out to me is small businesses. So those with 1 to 49 employees, that's how we characterize them, actually lost jobs as well to the tune of 13,000. And that speaks to those smaller companies getting squeezed by higher costs and uncertainty with tariffs. Now, I said we've got a jobs report coming Friday, could say different things, but if we see similar data to what we saw from today, that could put pressure on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates.
And speaking of that, the president took notice of this ADP report in a social media post and said to the Fed, yet again, this is more evidence to cut rates sooner.
That's right, because we've seen low inflation to the tune of the PCE report on Friday at 2.1%. If you have the job market showing cracks, any other time, Major, you would see a interest rate cut. But Fed Chair Powell is kind of playing this wait and see game because we aren't going to see the full impacts of tariffs until the next few months. And Major, I'm going to coin a phrase here on the takeout for the first time. If we see a bad jobs report on Friday and we have that low inflation, you're going to see a Powell Pickle because they're not going to be able to know exactly what to do. They're going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. And the Fed's own beige book, which is essentially just a survey of the 12 districts that the Fed has, said that they are seeing slowing demand for hiring in all of those 12 districts. So that comports with what we saw on the ADP today.
Kelly, as you know, this is a nominally food-themed show, so all food-themed analogies or phrases or slogans are deeply and enthusiastically embraced here at the Takeout. So we will roll confidently ahead with Powell Pickle. How does that pickle resolve itself, though? At some point, the Fed is going to have to make a decision. And with its public statements, it continues to tell the president and everyone who is hovering over these deliberations, it is going to take some more time.
That's right. I mean, Powell himself, I have heard him say over and over, I'm a data guy. I am going to wait until the data tells me I need to cut or I need to raise interest rates. I think where you're going to see pressure is if we get that tough jobs report, but there's still that, well, what about all of these inflationary pressures that are coming in a few months? I mean, they have said they don't want to preemptively cut interest rates. You're seeing pressure from the president. In a couple of months, then, we could see pressure from investors, businesses, and sort of that larger community.
You heard it here first. Kelly O'Grady coined it, the Powell Pickle. Kelly O'Grady, thank you so much.